Hey, day 29. I think this video basically is the video that catches me up because I think I was behind on a few days and it took me about a week or two to really get caught up. So I think we're back on schedule now. So you should be seeing a video every day now rather than a day or two without no videos and then a cluster of videos on the next day, that kind of thing. So I'm glad to be back on schedule. I just did a 45-minute session. Earlier in the day, I had done an hour, and then before that, I did about 15 minutes. It's weird how it gets split up, but I got my 2 hours in today, and it's actually been a while since I've got 2 hours in. I've been getting a lot of like hour and a half lately, or maybe hour and 45, hour 15. So it's good to be back. It's amazing how you do this for a while and then you ease up on it a little bit on the time and you feel your old habits creeping back. Like you can feel this like inner chaos that was being ignored or not properly dealt with, and it comes brewing up when you finally take the time to do it. So this just proves that this is a constant endeavor. It's not like a achievement after so many sessions or period of time. And after this 100-day self-connection experiment is over, I'm still going to be doing this. The benefits are just too great to ignore and to not have anymore. This makes me realize my full potential. It makes me so much more aware, and it expands my awareness. It doesn't just raise it, it expands it 360, almost in a very cosmic, hippie sort of way. It kind of expands it into other dimensions, not just 3D. It's like 4D or 5D. Some days I really feel like my insight is just like ridiculous. It's like weightlifting or training for the mind. And the mind controls everything. We experience life through the mind. It just makes so much sense. I don't know how I wasn't doing this before. I am so glad I found it now, but I wonder what kind of person I would have become had I been doing this, 3 years ago. Even just a year ago. I started meditating a year ago, but not on this type of schedule or for this much amount of time every day. It seemed excessive when I first heard about it. I stumbled on a Kyle Cease video, and he said that he sits for about 2 hours every day, sitting still, and then he saves a lot of time by doing it. And at first I thought it was a lot of time, but then he had mentioned how much time that we waste on things that don't even actually matter, that don't add to our life, and just make us feel more addicted, more incomplete. I like that oxymoron. Worn down, stressed out, and hitting the same roadblocks over and over again. So when I was self-connecting just now, I felt old stuff coming back up. Stuff that I thought I had gotten over or didn't trigger me as much anymore. And that's what's so nice about it. It gives a space for your negative stuff to brew, but also anything that you wanted to ponder on or imagine or any ideas that you've had, those come full force as well. It kind of switches between the two. It's pretty incredible. I use an app called Insight Timer, and they have a lot of really cool ambient music and soundscape loops. You can set the timer for as long as you want, and it loops the same thing. Or you could just do without the loops as well. I kind of switch back and forth, but typically I use the ambient loops. And I had picked this one today where it's called Limitless, and it's a bunch of keyboard pads just playing. It's very ethereal, And it feels like you're entering into the universe or something. It's like very foggy. That's like my best interpretation of it. My best impression of it. And there's like a tinge of sadness to it, and sometimes I wouldn't get it just so I would have to feel sad. But then I remembered what I've been saying the past few weeks is all the emotions are no better than the other. No emotion is better than the other. Sadness is meant to be felt. So I did feel some sadness and some negativity and some doubt in my meditation just now, in my self connection. But I also felt some happiness and some energy and upbeatness and some like new ideas I wanted to try out. And I also felt like I wanted to get out as well. I just like felt hurried or rushed. And that's so typical, especially of a workaholic, to want to move on to the next thing. I have to go do something. If I don't do something right now, if I don't accomplish something right now, I am nothing. And that is just as bad as somebody who wants to be lazy and not do anything at all, ever. Um, it's meditation is kind of like the balance of both. It's just like, okay, we're going to sit here and actually not actively do external things, but we're going to sit here and focus. We're going to allow ourselves to just be, which is doing something, just something we're not used to doing. But we're not going to jump out and just randomly start doing things just because they're there. You know, checking Facebook, browsing on your phone, talking on the phone, driving, cleaning, just watching TV, just worrying, overthinking, indecisiveness, just alcohol, drugs, anything. Just doing things just because they're there, because you can or you feel like you have to. Real security comes from just being able to not having to hide from yourself, to hide from any part of yourself, to feel all your emotions. You don't have to hide or shy away your pain or your joy or anything in between. Yeah. I guess there's not really a big point to what I'm saying today. It's just that I don't feel as rushed. I was feeling very rushed earlier today, and it took 3 different meditation sessions to be like, no, nothing's more important than you. You are the creator of this life you have, or you are you're holding the reins. You are controlling the plane. You're steering the boat, whatever you want to call it. You have your hands on the steering wheel of this thing. It's not the other way around. The things in your life do not steer you. You steer the things. So I don't feel as rushed right now. I feel like I'm coming from a open space, clear open space. I feel light. I'm a little bit lightheaded. I know that comes from meditation sometimes, and now that I'm back on schedule, it should lessen. I don't feel stressed. I did feel stressed during the meditations, but I know every time that I feel really stressed out, really negative, really bogged down, tired, as soon as I'm done, as long as I stick to that time commitment, as soon as I'm done, it's like I awaken and I just launched. I'm just like, I'm ready to do stuff, or I'm ready to live life. What's gonna happen for me today? You know what I mean? What value am I gonna add to the day, or to other people's lives, or to my own life? And whenever I'm in an addictive state, I used to be addicted to sex and pornography. I had some abuse earlier in my life, and people who are abused in any way, they tend to get really promiscuous or obsessed with sexual thoughts, or they fall into substance abuse or other addictions. Mine was sex and pornography. I remember when I was so addicted to pornography, I'd spend a few hours a day on it, and masturbation, of course. And I remember making excuses for myself all the time why this was okay, why I could do it, And it got to the point where I started seeing some serious changes in myself where when I wasn't at the computer, when I wasn't having sex, I was noticing through my day to day that even the moments I wasn't even thinking about that stuff, which was a lot, I would be constantly taking the stance from automatically of what is this going to give me? Everything was, what can I get from this? What can I get from this? And very short patience, no patience for anything. And it's funny, now that I'm 3 years sober, quote unquote sober, 3 years off of hardcore pornography, I don't look at pornographic videos to get sexual gratification anymore, or sexual images. I feel very similarly whenever I'm on social media too much. What can I get from this? What is this providing me? And I want it now, and I want more of it automatically. That hurried. I guess that's what I was talking about earlier. That hurried, rushed feeling. It's like scurry. It just feels very much just like anxiety. It's like we're practicing anxiety when we check our phones all the time and got all these apps and messages and images and texts and videos and links and all this different stuff. And it's just everything. It's just like, hurry up and now and more of it. And instantly. There's no higher creative release from delayed gratification, like actually creating something or collaborating on something or working on a long-term project. There's less of that now in the world. And I truly believe, and I know, that self-connection meditation takes us away from that consumer, hurried, anxious, external mindset and takes us to that patient, creative, light, open-hearted place of internal gratification, fulfillment, I should say. Instead of being gratified, we're being fulfilled. And I like that a lot. And I have slipped into, even though I haven't really gone back into porn per se, like getting onto it. And it is a drug. There's research behind how the brain changes, just as if someone was doing alcohol or drugs. I haven't jumped back into porn, but I still find myself in a pornographic states where I am looking at things sexually, or I am looking for external things to fulfill whatever need I have in me. Like, I need to scroll through my Facebook. I need to look at Instagram pictures like crazy. I need to check my email 10 times, even though no one's emailed me in the past 20 minutes. It's addictions. It's obsessions. Some void is being filled instead of actually just dealing with the void. And the meditation forces you to deal with the voids. I think that's what I really like about it. You can't hide. But it's good. It makes you strong. It makes you not so dependent on external things. And that's great. This is a gateway to end all addictions. Substance, sexual activity, emotions, thought patterns. It's a way to end that. All the distractions. It's a way out. And I think getting over my sex addiction would have been a lot easier had I known about this stuff. And I just hope that these videos can help people. And I've had private messages from some people who watched these videos and said that it did help them. Even though I'm just sharing my experience, I'm not necessarily doing self-help or tutorials. I'm not an expert. Just sharing my truth seems to liberate others. So don't be afraid to connect to yourself. Don't be afraid to take it slow and just be, because that's a powerful, powerful thing. And it's free, and it's infinite. And it opens the doors to everything else. Stay sexy, Branians. I'll see you soon.